Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, NXT and We fans. This is Takeover Tom. I am hosting for you today a very, very exciting show. We have a very special guest with us today. Today I am joined by the man behind the plan, PJG. What is going on, PJ?
Hey, Tom, it is Takeover Tom. It is so good to be back here on another edition of a very special NXT and We interview series.
Absolutely. I am so excited to be here. I have a lot of really personal things that I equate with the guy we've got coming on the show today. So it's a really, really true privilege for me to be here and doing this show. We're going to get right to it, but first I'd like to open up the floor for PJG. Give us a little social media shout out, and then we're going to get right to it.
So we got NXT_podcast on Twitter, NXT and We on Instagram, also on Facebook. Be sure to go over there on Facebook, NXT and We, our page. We post everything everywhere. And also you can find us NXT and We anywhere you get your podcasts. You could find us. We're all over the place, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you go and do that. Also, if you want to send us an email, NXT&We@gmail.com. Send us an email. We will 100% respond. So there you go. And that's where you could find us. And that's where you could find this interview.
Awesome. Well, we're going to get right to it. No sense in wasting time. You know how I like my introductions, so here we go.
Yes.
Today, we have on the show, he's a United States Marine. He is a family man hailing from Brooklyn, New York. He is a former Fist Combat champion, Gold Coast Federation SoCal champion, FCW XRT Division champion. He is the current UWN Tag Team champion. He's the Baja Stars USA Cruiserweight champion. He's an actor, a stuntman, and a pro wrestling extraordinaire. He is the radioactive Papi. Mi gente, bienvenido a Danny Limelight.
Mi gente! It's the radioactive Papi back above me, you've been warned. Right. Puerto Rican at your door, New York never bites his tongue, leaving bodies on the floor. Slap your face before I take a hand out, man down.
Mi gente, what's going on, man? Thanks for having me on the show. You guys made me
pleasure.
Superstar just now on this introduction, man. If I got me hype, I'm ready to go hit the ring. I'm waiting for my music to play,
You know what? I might have to add that in post along with the appropriate
There you go.
pop,
Yeah.
because we know they're all popping at home.
The popping, yeah.
They're popping, man, because
Everywhere.
we got a sleeper talent here on the show today, guys.
Doing my little thing right here, just like
The thingy thing. Oh, I love the thingy thing, man. I was watching
like
your
my go-to
highlight reel.
move.
Yeah,
I was
watching your highlight reel,
That's the
and
only move I got.
you nailed a beautiful corkscrew plancha, and then you did the thingy thing. And that's just one of the things I love about your in-ring style.
We should do like a little poll online and just have everybody tweet what this little thingy thing should be called. And the best we could expect that could come straight from your guys' podcast. Let's do that.
Let's do it. Let's go.
We can turn it into a new TikTok challenge. Who could do the best Danny Limelight?
So right now it's called the thingy thing?
No, it doesn't have a name at all. I just said it. Why I said it.
I mean,
that's what we're going with.
Thingy Thang is an amazing name, so we might have to just keep it like that. But anyway, I don't know if anything will beat that.
Do the thingy thing.
Can you imagine them saying it in like the commentary? He's doing the thingy thing.
Yeah.
You've never heard that before. I think it could work.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's officially the name.
For now. We'll see if we get anything better, but right now.
Yeah.
Imagine JR or Tony Schiavone calling that.
Yeah, it's the thingy thing.
That would be fantastic. But anyway, Danny, thank you so much for joining us this evening. I alluded to in our opening that we share a lot in common between the two of us. Okay. As I mentioned in our first conversations, I do have Puerto Rican heritage myself. So it is one thing that I love doing is tracking the career of fantastic Puerto Rican wrestlers. And I think I may have found the most fantastic, skilled Puerto Rican wrestler I've ever seen in Danny Limelight here. So we are happy to be showcasing you today. and I am going to give you the floor, sir. And we like to open up in kind of chronological order. And obviously, many people do see you as a real life superhero. So when we're talking to wrestlers, it's always where do you come from? When you're talking to superheroes, what's your origin story? So let us hear about where you came from, what got you into the business, where you trained, all of the things that helped you get your start.
Well, man, first of all, you were talking about, the Puerto Rican heritage and culture and being one of the best Puerto Ricans is, man. That's a huge compliment because you think of Puerto Ricans, man, you got Lince Dorado, Santana Ortiz, Eddie Kingston, so those are some exceptional Puerto Rican wrestlers. You had the Colones back in the day, Savio Vega, there's a lot
Primo
of
and Epico.
Yeah, exactly. So I appreciate that, and I'm just happy to be, another person representing for mi gente. You feel me? So the origin story, is very different than most wrestlers' origin story. I didn't start watching wrestling until '97. The first memory that I had would be with, Takers and Shawn Michaels, obviously Hell in a Cell and Bad Blood. Yep. And so I started watching. I was immediately a fan. I think it was The Rock and Eddie Guerrero, though, that definitely made me love wrestling. The only thing was that, I stopped watching wrestling before I went into high school because it wasn't the cool thing to do. I wanted to do all the wild stuff that we do as teens and stuff like that. And I never knew about wrestling. I just knew WWF. I didn't know that there was a thing as New Japan or Ring of Honor or even what the independent scene was. So I never experienced all the wrestling that a lot of people that are wrestlers experienced growing up. Like, they were diehard fans. Me, I just watched what was on my TV. You feel me? So when I started training to be a wrestler, I had this whole door of if you want to say the forbidden door of wrestling coming at me.
That's awesome.
Place,
Yeah.
But I would have never been there if I didn't join the Marine Corps at 17 years old. I left the Marine. I left New York to go be a Marine when I was 17.
Thank you for your service.
I did. Thank you. I did 10 years. I was a staff sergeant. I was a Marine Corps drone instructor. I made over 350 Marines. I was a Marine Corps martial arts instructor. I taught over 400 Marines in the Marine Corps martial arts program. I did, humanitarian missions in mainland Japan with Operation Tamagotchi. I did a lot in the Marine Corps. I was a volunteer youth sports coach for 5 years. I coached kids all ages in basketball and baseball. I did over 350 volunteer hours just to the community as a Marine, and so I was a Lance Corporal seminar instructor. I was a Corporal's course instructor. I was a Sergeant's course instructor. I did a lot of things in the Marine Corps to give back to the Marine Corps because the Marine Corps took me from New York City, gave me a future. And so when I exited the Marine Corps, I knew that it was, time for me to go pursue my dream. However, I started training to be a professional wrestler while I was still in the Marine Corps. So not only was I doing the Marine Corps stuff, then I would get off work as a Marine and drive to the gym to train, to be a wrestler. And then in the weekends, I was traveling for shows if I wasn't somewhere else or on Marine Corps duty.
Where did you train?
So I don't say the school's name anymore because they don't get no love from me. I was not experienced in the business, and I took an independent booking at another company in another city. I got a win there, and the company that I was training at, was mad. In my head, I'm like, I'm an independent wrestler. Like, you're not on a contract. You're not paying me money.
Yeah.
What?
So they kicked me out their school, and they told me I'll never wrestle again.
Oh, no.
Well, they were wrong. They were very wrong.
Now they're like, damn.
It's got to be a blessing in disguise, though, right? Because your career skyrocketed from there.
Well, yes and no. So nobody was booking me in California because they had this bad taste in their mouth because of the word of this company.
Wow.
So I was kind of like blackballed. And then David Marquez from United Wrestling Network, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, gave me a call, and he asked for my side of the story.
Okay.
I was just this little green kid. I was new. I was only 9 months in the business.
Yeah.
I hadn't really made that many towns or nothing like that. And, this company who was one of the major companies in the SoCal area was like, don't book him. He's unprofessional. He's this, yada, 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 yada. Right. Only thing I would say is that I was a hothead because, I was a hothead growing up. I came from the Marine Corps, so I had tons of experience. I was a sergeant.
The blood, man.
So I'm competitive. I'm passionate about things. So there were some things that I could have handled better with the way I carried myself. but I don't think I was in the wrong. And so David Marquez asked me my side of the story, and then he brought me to Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. So less than a year in the business, I'm wrestling on TV now for Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, making my name for myself. And now people are starting to see Danny Limelight, and they want to bring him to the show. So I started getting these bookings and stuff like that. And then I started like kind of killing it on the SoCal independent scene in 2016. And then I had to stop because I got orders to go become a drone instructor. So I went away from wrestling for a little. When I came back, when I got done with that, I came back to wrestling. It was 2018. So I was gone for like 2 years and some change. And, you know, I started wrestling again. First place I went back to was Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. David Marquez took me in with open arms. And I started, you know, going to Mexico for the Crash and AAA because Conan brought me in for that. So shout outs to Conan. You know, 2019, I made my Impact debut, and I'm wrestling for the Division Championship. And then I do my New Japan, you know, tryout. And then now I'm wrestling for New Japan during the pandemic. Yeah. And the pandemic was really 2019 was when I really started getting the feel to myself, the confidence of like, yeah, I could do this shit. Like,
yeah, you won like 3 belts in 2019, didn't you?
Yeah, I won 3 belts and I held them all for like 200 plus days or something like that.
Wow.
And I was taking it to like, and I was catching flights to like Rhode Island, Texas, Vegas, Arizona, you know, New Jersey, Florida. So I was carrying the belts with me and I was doing things. And I was really like, okay, I was getting that swag. Like I could do this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I, you know, do the Impact pay-per-view, make my debut wrestling for the X Division Championship. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, then the end of 2019 is the New Japan tryout. And then I separate my shoulder in the match. And they're like, it's going to take you 6 months. And I said, fuck that. 1 month later, I'm back in the ring.
Wow. Wow.
Surgery or nothing. Because now this is where the origin story comes in. It's because when I was a kid, I was bit by a radioactive spider.
Yes.
So
that is perfect.
I have those genes, you feel me, where I can heal quick.
Yeah. Yeah. That actually, that is one of my favorite things that we're going to be going into is your love for Spider-Man, and we'll get to that when we get to that. But can't wait to talk about it.
Montana just killed Manolo. Spoiler alert.
As we're going here, if you do hear sounds in the background,
I'm watching Scarface.
Our boy is watching Scarface.
Because the eyes never lie, Chico, and the world is yours. You feel me? So after I came back from the shoulder injury, you know, the pandemic happened. Mm-hmm. I started taking my time to go to school, acting school first. Started doing, you know, short films, writing, started, you know, putting in the work. And at the end of 2019, before I got injured, I also did John Hennigan's at the time. That kind of really got me into the union. And then I started doing things with my daughter. She booking commercials. I'm booking commercials. She's grinding, I'm grinding. We're doing films, independent films, things like that. Fight scene, stunt choreo, fight training. And then I get the call from New Japan. They're going to bring me in. And I make my Lions Break Collision debut, you know, as TJ Perkins. And then,
TJP.
Then New Japan Strong happens. And now I turn on Rocky. I go into this big feud with Rocky Romero. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I'm part of Team Filthy. And now we're a mainstay on New Japan Strong every week. And then in October, you know, so from June, I made my debut in New Japan. And then October, so 3 months, AEW hits me up. Mm-hmm. Now I fly to Florida. You feel me? And then the rest, you know, I turned 2020 to my year. PWI announced me as the one to watch. Wrestling Code signed me onto their game. I'm in the AEW mobile app game, the Elite GM app.
That's awesome.
I'm doing all the motion capture for.
You're going to be in the video game,
The game that I'm going to be in.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
I did the motion capture for another video game that has wrestling involved. You know,
but sweet.
I can't announce that yet because it hasn't been announced to the public. I'll let you guys imagine and wonder what it could be. But
maybe a little bit of a sneak peek.
Yeah, maybe we'll have you back on and you can announce it when you can announce it.
You know, I did that. And then, you know, I shot and filmed, wrote, produced, starred, stunt coordinated my first short film, Joe Riv, which is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, that is awesome.
Oh, yeah. I have a lot of questions, and I'm sure Tom does too. I have a lot of questions.
Actually getting accepted into the big action film festival in Las Vegas, which I will be attending. Hopefully
this year?
This next month.
Oh, nice. Let's go,
dude. Almost done. It'll be finished by this week.
Let's go.
That is wonderful.
So it's been a crazy, you know, year, you know, from June 2020 to now, 2021, man. I made 2020 my bitch. The 2020 year, most outstanding wrestler of the year. I had, I think, 4 matches up for match of the year candidate in SoCal.
Wow.
So I was in the finals of the Lions Break Crown tournament. I could just keep going on about all my accolades. Wrestling Kenny Omega in my Dynamite debut.
I know you can.
Main eventing against John Moxley on Elevation.
Yep.
Another one.
Another
There's
just so many things.
Another one.
Another one.
There are so many huge names that you've already had the pleasure of working with in AEW. You know, you see, you mentioned Kenny Omega and also John Moxley, but also, man, like
2 of the 3 AEW World Champions.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you got guys that have also fought for the title in that list too. I mean, your match against Ray Phoenix. Was something else. And I saw you actually had the opportunity to wrestle him in the Indies as well.
Yes.
Because he showed up in one of your promo reels. Yeah. And so, where
Phoenix and Penta, man, those are 2. Like, I'm sorry to cut you off. When you
go ahead,
Phoenix, man. Shout out. I don't know when this is airing, but this Friday, July 2nd, Ray Phoenix's art gallery is going to be premiering to the public. So people go check out his art gallery at Mass Lucha in
so
LA.
Cool.
Ray Phoenix and Penta, man, those are 2 of my really good friends. I love them dudes. I've known them since 2016 when I was wrestling at the Crash in Mexico. They always showed me love. You know, those are my people.
Awesome, man. And it's clear you and Ray have incredible chemistry because the match you guys put on AEW Dark was something else. And, you know, so many of your matches make a nice impression, but that one in particular, I think I'm going to go back and watch again and again. Because you guys brought such creativity into it. The rope walk segment of the match was something else. Yeah. And also 2 things that I wanted to mention from that specific match is how commentary built you up. I mean, in that match, you had Taz saying that you had everything you need to be a big star. And you had Tony Schiavone saying your balance rivals even Ray Phoenix's. So I've seen your style compared to Ray Phoenix multiple times, and you yourself said Ray Phoenix is the best lucha in the universe right now.
100%.
So what a compliment to receive! It's like you got a rocket to hop right on. So how has it been developing in AEW Dark and Elevation, because you're heavily featured. You've worked with so many guys. What is the biggest highlight for you in working with AEW?
Man, first of all, the company's amazing. You know, the talent is incredible, top notch, from the heavyweight champion all the way to the newest guy walking through the doors, ready to make a name for himself on Dark. You know, some of the best talent from around the world, and it's just been a pleasure to be able to step into the ring with guys like Kenny and John. You know, Seidel, you know, even the special attraction match, Inosuke Takeshita from DDT Pro. That was my favorite match I've ever had in my entire life.
You and Seidel was awesome.
Yeah, I think those earlier matches, you know, my match with Brian Cage and then my 2 matches.
Brian Cage, I didn't want to bring it up. I didn't want to bring it up because, you know, the ending, but just, you know, you losing, but like, you know,
but still,
that's part of the job.
You brought it to him, though. That's the thing. You brought it to him.
That was the first time people had seen me do the walk, the rope walk, Canadian Destroyer. And,
Dude, the Destroyer looks so good.
Yeah.
Insert incredibly fluid for such a large dude.
Insert clip of the walk rope Destroyer.
Yes, we definitely need to do that in post.
I just think that, like, you know, it was one of the matches, that one with Seidel and Cage and Phoenix was one of the few matches that really people started saying, oh shit, like this Danny Limelight dude could go, because some of them hadn't seen me on New Japan Strong. In my opinion, I think I do my best work on New Japan Strong.
On New Japan,
you know, I'm able to talk. I think that's where I get my money at, is with the microphone in my hand.
On the mic, yeah.
And when I'm with Team Phil, New Japan Strong, I have that. You know, I do my little thing and talk my shit. And collect the paycheck at the window. You feel me?
Hey, let's go.
For sure, man.
I mean,
people started going and seeing, they're like looking up Danny Limelight. All of a sudden, they're starting to see my shit in New Japan. They're like, oh shit, you know, TJ Perkins match. Oh, his feud with Rocky Romero, the feud with Dickinson. You know, his Lions Break tournament push in the tournament, the Lions Break Crown tournament with Clark Connors in the finals, match of the year candidate. You know, it's been crazy seeing how many from last year, when I made my New Japan debut, to now, the amount of fans that I've gained over the year. And it's testimony to like the work that I put in this last year.
Absolutely. I mean, you clearly put so much into your work. I mean, if you go back to the Fist Combat title defense against Sammy Guevara, like you guys had the crowd eating out of your hand.
Like
and yeah, and you just got to show so much of yourself in that. Like I've seen like a video of you dancing with your daughter and everything. You get your goofiness comes out.
I love you 3000, baby.
Yeah. And yeah, so it's great seeing your personality come out when you're in the ring, because you're certainly not afraid of being fun and goofy. And the Sammy Guevara match, you guys definitely need to go check that out, because
the most important thing to me, man, is being authentic and being true to who you are. So everything that you see, from the minute you hear me gente when the music hits, so you see me do the thingy thing in the ring to the end of the match, it's 100% authentic to who I am. You know, the seriousness, the goofiness, the poppiness, whatever, all of it is just me.
Total package.
And the match with Sammy Guevara, it was crazy. Was when that match happened, it was the first time my mom was in the crowd watching me wrestle live.
Really?
Oh, wow. Out to New York because it happened the day before my daughter's birthday party.
So you were doing some solid heel work. How'd Mama feel?
Yeah. It was Danny Limelight Appreciation Night, so they had like this whole thing for me with balloons and like a portrait of me in one of my modeling photos, because I had just became one of the longest reigning champions in the company or something like that.
Oh, wow.
The exact story behind it. So now here I am I threw out the old belt. I get presenting a new belt. You know, there's a big picture of me. And as this is happening on the shoot, Sammy Guevara is filming for his vlog. He's late to the show. He comes through the door in the middle of the show late, and he's like doing his fucking vlog. And then we get into the ring and we have this whole segment. And then, you know, we get ready for the main event match. And the match was insane. Like, it was my first time ever wrestling Sammy. And you know, we had a fucking banger, and then match, Sammy said some amazing words on the microphone. He said, you know, one day, you know, we're gonna do this again, but it's gonna be somewhere bigger. And you know, a year and a half later, I'm in the same ring with him on AEW, so it's crazy. That's fucking good.
It's because you guys would put up the match of the year for sure. Like on AEW, 100%, that would be a match of the year candidate.
Because Danny deserves the limelight. There you go.
He does.
There you go.
That's incredible. And one thing that I have as an observation of kind of how you can see how far you've come is if you do an extreme deep dive on Danny's Instagram, you'll find an old picture of him standing with Big Show Paul White. And now you're featured together on the same show on a weekly basis. Mm-hmm. Do you have any relationship that's developed with Paul or any other guys that you saw one day you were a fan of them and now you're actually working with them? Like, how's that going and how's that all feeling?
Well, you know, from the picture of me with Paul White at the beach on Camp Pendleton, that was taken 2014. Right when I started training to be a wrestler, and I met him and I told him I was training to be a wrestler, and I'm sure he's heard plenty of people say that. So,
sure,
you know, it's whatever, right? And then who would have thought 7 years later, you know, he's commentating the first ever Elevation match, which I'm on the first ever Elevation match, and I'm the first face that ever comes out when you think of the history books of AEW Elevation.
That's awesome.
And he's commentating the match, and then we do the Rising Star segment with me and Paul with the sit-down interview and the same day that I main event with John Moxley. It's just crazy, man. He's an amazing human being. I've already seen how much he's done for the people in the back with his knowledge, his wisdom coming in and trying to critique and guide, you know, the younger talent. And it's all appreciated. All those guys, man, guys like Christian, you know, coming in, the people that I grew up watching, even Matt Hardy, somebody that I grew up watching, you know, developing a relationship with those guys, you know, Chris Jericho is another one, you know, so it's been a wild journey, you know, and you think of, you know, 8-year-old me or 7-year-old me watching, you know, wrestling on TV and wanted to be a wrestler. And here I am doing it for a living, you know, an abundant life because of the blessings that, you know, I'm receiving from the work that I put in. And it's just another way for me to continue to set the bar for my daughter and show her that if you're passionate and you put the work in, anything you want to do in life, nobody can tell you otherwise, because at the end of the day, the cream rises to the top. And if you grind it, you're going to get there.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
That is just it's inspiring. It really is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And your whole story is it is inspiring, especially for people who grew up in that sort of neighborhood of South Brooklyn. You know, you got people who are in tough situations in their lives, and you're a case example of a way out and a way where discipline and growing yourself is a huge part of your development.
So, Danny, so for one, just real quick. So, were you familiar? Did you know of? I know Ortiz is a New York guy.
Mm-hmm.
Were you familiar with him before?
I had never met Ortiz ever in my life.
Okay.
Well,
until you got to AEW.
I knew of them because of, you know, they're Puerto Rican and they some dope ass dudes, and they were killing it on the independent scene and Impact.
Yes. Okay.
And so I knew who they were.
Okay.
And before, you know, we turned on Dickinson was part of Team Filthy. He was my boy. You know, I had wrestled with him at GCW. You know, now we hate each other because of, you know, him joining, you know, Brody King's group and us kicking him out of Team Filthy. And we're going to be facing them July 12th at the Tag Team Turbulence.
Let's go.
Third Tag Team Turbulence tournament in New Japan Strong history. Me and Crazy Team Filthy taking on Chris Dickinson and Brody King. So make sure y'all tune in for that one.
For sure.
Excellent.
And so, you know, he used to run with Santana Ortiz from, you know, their old Pazuzu gang, the little team they had. And so when I was going to AEW, he like hit them up, was like, yo, like, blah, 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 blah. You feel me? And when I showed up, he told me mad love. Santana Ortiz and Eddie. Those are my three.
I have a Ortiz story that I can't tell right now, but if we have a couple minutes,
I have some Ortiz stories that I can't tell right now either.
But after all, if you have a couple minutes before you hop off, I'll say it to you. But my other one, real quick, Tom, to Danny, obviously, was I really just listening to your story in general, and I had a couple questions wrote down, but right now this is the one that came to head was like, what was the difference? Because you said you do Impact, right, and then you're doing NJPW, and you know you're kind of newish into the business, and you're starting to make your name for yourself. What is the difference? I think, other than the crowd, because I think the casual fan understands that difference between Japan and the States. What, if anything, could you just articulate is so different between wrestling in front of NJPW crowds and then traditional, you know, United States, you know, American crowds?
Well, I've never wrestled in front of a New Japan crowd yet. You know, just seeing.
But it was NJPW strong, yeah.
You know,
but like it's still different.
There still haven't been live audience yet with New Japan.
Okay.
That's coming soon. That's coming real soon in August. The debut of live crowd for New Japan.
Okay. There you go. So you know what, we were able to get you to plug that there. So
we'll have to have you back to answer that question.
Yeah.
That's happening soon. But anywhere I wrestle, even when I wrestle in front of the crowd with Impact, you know, it's always different. Every company you go to is different. The atmosphere is different. The people you're wrestling are different, you know, so it's always good to get around and feel it all out and just be present in the moment. So whenever I'm wrestling, I don't care if it's 2 people in the crowd, 200 people in the crowd, 2,000 or 2 million. Like, I'm wrestling like there's 10 million every time. Like, I put my all into it every single time. No matter if it's an indie show, if it's New Japan Strong, if it's AEW, Dark, or Elevation, or Dynamite, if it's championship wrestler from Hollywood, every time I step into the ring, I give it 100%. It's always different. The fans are always different. And I just sit there present in the moment. I take that shit all in because one day I'm not going to be able to do this no more. You know, and so I just want to be able to look back and be like, damn, you know, like I wanted a long life, a legendary one, and I fucking did everything I could to fucking get there.
That's amazing, man.
Really,
and there's
almost just now, but just not a curse. That's like the first time in a while I said the F word.
It's all right, man.
You're good.
So one thing that really we've talked about a little bit already is inspiration. how you are an inspiration to others. But there's one thing in particular that is clear has been a huge inspiration on you, and the fact that it's tattooed on your body. I can't show my tattoo with that angle, but I got Batman tattooed on my forearm, and you've got Spider-Man here on your chest. I am Groot right over on the other side of your heart. Yeah. So obviously Marvel has been a huge influence on you. And I did read somewhere that you do Spider-Man cosplay and go to children's hospitals. Is that correct?
Yes, I dress up as Spider-Man and I go to children's hospitals to see the sick kids. I go to schools to read to the kids with special needs and stuff like that. I haven't been able to do it because of the pandemic, but now that things are going back to normal, hopefully I'll be able to start making my way back to children's hospitals like Rady's and stuff like that in San Diego. Yeah. So it's comics were part of my life when I was a kid. I was a huge comic nerd. My dad would come home and bring me comics. I used to watch the cartoon on Fox 5 on Saturday mornings. And, obviously now with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, my first audition I ever had for anything was for Marvel. It was Marvel stunt show. I auditioned for the live stunt show. It was for the role of Spider-Man. There was so many people there. I made it down to the final 10 of us. It was mixed between boys and girls for every character and stuff like that. And it was a great experience. And that was actually my introduction to the stunt community, the stunt world, was that audition. Yeah. And so 2019, I was running around calling it the year of the spider, and all my wrestling, different spider suits, my favorite comic books and stuff like that. And so, just everything that he stands for, that, with great power comes great responsibility. That shit sounds cheesy to people. But when you really think about what that means, is like, who has the power to influence others, what are you doing with that power? Are you being responsible, or are you setting the wrong example? So everything that Spider-Man does, his morals, the way he's always going to choose what's right, regardless of the situation it puts him in, I believe in that shit. So I carry myself like that. I feel like I'm a real life hero. Yeah, sure, I could do the flips and I could spring off the rope and I could walk and I could do all the cool tricks you'd want to see a fucking Spider-Man do. But, I hold his beliefs and his morals inside of me as well. And I think that's something that's gotten me this far. Obviously now I'm not running around with Spider-Man gear, and I kind of took it and made it mine. I put a little sazon, seasoned that shit up, added the Poppy, and now I'm the radioactive Poppy. And so that's where the name came from.
Thang.
Thang.
We need a Thingy Thang t-shirt with the little.
I need an artist out there to make it, a Thingy Thang t-shirt.
I'm on it.
And you said it too. We just
it could be like a 4 square thing. Step 1 is you put your hand here and here.
Oh,
yeah,
yes, it's like step by step.
How to do the thingy thing? Okay, with like a little.
It'll be available on wrestling.com/Danny Limelight, along with this shirt and all my other shirts.
It's the new Dougie.
The new
Thingy Thang.
Teach me how to Dougie.
Oh, that is awesome. I love how you've taken the character of Spider-Man and you have made it a huge part of your identity, and it reflects the character you've got, and just it's really wonderful to see how genuine you are when you're on your own. And that's just one thing that through my research, I just really grew to admire you for that. So I really, really appreciate that. So PJ, I'm going to throw it to you for another question.
Yeah, I mean, I do have a couple like random ones here before we get to some. I don't know how much time you have, Danny, but we usually we get through, we talk wrestling, all this stuff, and then towards the end we get to like some more just like personal fun stuff. But I do have a couple more wrestling related questions. I was very interested. I don't know if I didn't see it or find where if you had ever described it. So I apologize if you have. But how and why did you choose the names? Because IMDb, Danny Rivera. Yes. Daniel Rivera. Yeah.
Daniel Rivera, IMDb.
And I know that, and I believe, I mean, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but did you wrestled as that as well early on? Yeah.
On IMDb, it's Daniel L. Rivera. That's what all my movie stuff, all the films I've been in, and things that I've worked on. And then I used to wrestle as Danny Rivera at Championship.
Danny Rivera. Okay, cool. And then that's what I saw.
Danny Limelight Rivera. But my name was always Danny Limelight. The first name I ever chose was Danny Limelight.
And where did that come from? Like, how did that? Yeah.
Early career, I wrestled as Danny Rivera because when I went to Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, David Marquez wanted me to play myself, a Puerto Rican kid, and have a tag team partner, and we were like Los Primos Rivera, the Rivera cousins. So that's why Limelight was dropped, and it was just Danny Rivera.
Okay.
And then when Danny Limelight on the Indies started doing more and more, then the Limelight name got squeezed in and it became Danny Limelight Rivera. And now on Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, it's just Danny Limelight.
And did you come up with the Danny Limelight? Like how
Yes.
did that, was that just, like how did that come about?
I was actually sitting there trying to think of names, you know, and I knew that a name is important. You know, it's the first thing somebody hears is if your name isn't actually, you know, if it doesn't sound good on the flyer, on promotion, on a commercial, you know, it's not marketable, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking of a name, and I knew that I wanted it to be similar into the limelight, the spot. Like I knew I wanted the New York City, and you know, turned all the way up. Like I knew from the beginning that's what I wanted. And originally I was gonna go with my middle name. My middle name is Lewis, so it was gonna be Live Lewis. And it sounds like a fake SoundCloud. You know? So I said Live Lewis. That was gonna be my name. I don't think I've ever talked about this before, but it was my name was Live Lewis. You know, and I was sitting there with one of my boys, Jude Diz, who's a wrestler, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not feeling it." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not really feeling it either." And I was like, why don't you just use Danny? You know, like your name. I was like, "Yeah, I could use Danny in it somehow." And I'm trying to think of a way to put Danny with something, and I knew I wanted that New York atmosphere. So I was like, you know, I'm thinking subway, I'm thinking graffiti, I'm thinking, you know, bright lights of the city and stuff like that. And he was like, "Yeah, you know, like Limelight or something like that, you know, like Spotlight." And I was like, Limelight. And I immediately thought of Biggie Smalls when he's like, "Now I'm in the limelight because I'm
tight. Now time to get paid. Look like the World Trade."
I got a follow-up question.
The Limelight was a club in New York City back in the day that only the artists could get into. So that's why he says, "Now I'm in the limelight because I'm tight." So I was like, "Damn, Limelight, that shit sounds fucking dope." You know, it's
and then you do the thing.
Kanye West's thing, you know, she'll do anything for the limelight and we'll do anything when the time's right. I was like,
"Oh, Kanye."
So I was like, Danny Limelight. Like that's my name. There you go.
That's excellent. Now I have to ask, is the literal limelight behind you on purpose?
I know, I was gonna say the same thing.
Oh nah, you know, it just depends on the mood.
No, you gotta keep it. You gotta keep it. You gotta
keep it green.
You gotta keep it live.
That's you.
You gotta keep it live. Come on. Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Excellent. We got the literal limelight on Danny Limelight here.
The car I drive inside, it has like lights that go around. I have it the same like lime green. It goes
Let's
inside.
go. You have to.
Yeah, except when my daughter's in the car. When my daughter's in the car, she wants it to be pink, so I gotta change it to pink. But
Live, what was it? Live Lewis.
Live Lewis.
Lewis.
Jeez, man. I don't think Live Lewis is somewhere wrestling in a parking lot or of a bar or something. I mean, jeez. I mean, you know, no disrespect to those who are doing the. No disrespect to the grind, but Live Lewis is certainly not wrestling on AEW. That is incredible. And you said you think the first time, Live Lewis, aka Danny Limelight. That is awesome.
I never wrestled as anything other than Danny Limelight. Like it was always Danny.
So Danny, clearly you're a fan of comedy. And one thing that comes to mind is as I was going through your Instagram. There was a picture of you dressed as Night Monkey, and you were with two hormone monsters from Big Mouth. Tell me a little bit about your fandom for adult animation.
Let's go, Rick and Morty. Oh yeah.
No,
it was Big Mouth.
No, I know.
I don't really watch cartoons like that.
Okay.
But sometimes I'll be watching Netflix, and for some reason, Big Mouth, that shit had me dying. I was laughing so hard. You know? Yeah, I was like the first time I turned it on, I was sipping some Hennessy. I was playing Cold Hennessy, and I was like, "Man, I'm gonna turn the game off and watch some TV." And I turned Netflix on, and I seen that. I'm like, "What the hell is this shit?" You know, it looked like. So I turned it on, and that shit had me dying. So that picture, I went to, I think it was LA Comic-Con, and I dressed up as the Night Monkey from the new Spider-Man film, and I was testing the suit out because it was like partially made by me, and the other stuff I got for somebody else. And I saw the hormone, and I'm a fan of people that put time into making dope costumes and stuff. So I was like, "Man, I need a picture with these fucking dudes, man." Like,
nice, man. So you mentioned playing some COD, some Call of Duty. It brings to mind another thing that I saw online was Kenny Omega was talking about playing Call of Duty. And he was specifically talking about how much he liked Buddy Murphy. And he would have had an opportunity to play Call of Duty, with Buddy Murphy, but he ended up playing with you instead. And now getting to know you, he's not surprised that you took his spot. So can you tell us a little bit more about that story?
That's a funny story. Damn.
Getting the deep cuts here at NXT&We.
Deep. Man, Kenny Omega, man, he's like the best wrestler in the world right now. Shout out to the current champ. You know, he's a champ in many promotions, AAA, Impact, and AEW, obviously.
Mm-hmm. The collector.
And everybody knows he's a gamer. I don't play video games, but I play Call of Duty. Like, I play Call of Duty. And I'm really good friends. I'm really good friends with JT Dunn and Sami Callihan.
Oh,
so I always run Call of Duty with JT Dunn and Sami Callihan. Sometimes we hop on Fortnite, but I suck at that shit, so I just be dying. So when we play Fortnite, you know, Buddy Murphy's usually in the group in Fortnite. So Buddy Murphy has killed me in Fortnite, and everybody kills me in Fortnite because I fucking don't know how to play the game. Nobody wants to teach me how to play. But Call of Duty is different. You know, I'll be doing my thing sometimes. And so it was me, JT, Sammy, and then Kenny, you know, came into to play with us. This was a while ago, you know, before everything that happened with Impact. And we played. I mean, we played a few games. We was killing. You know, Kenny's great at the game. JT's great at the game. JT Twitch streams it, so check out JT Dunn's Twitch on Call of Duty. He be killing it. And he's also a wrestler in the Northern East Coast. And then obviously everybody knows Sami Callihan. Sami Callihan has the weakest link in the game. I'm gonna just say it. You know, I'm gonna go on record and say Sami Callihan has the weakest of the group, but he still be getting killed. You know. But yeah, we ended up running that game. We were just talking shit, laughing about it, and you know how Buddy was supposed to be in the party. But they say that I joined instead of Birdie. But really, the last person that came into the lobby was Kenny. So I'm just saying.
So Kenny really took Buddy's spot.
I don't know. I think we were supposed to. Maybe I did. I don't know. But it doesn't matter because we ended up getting dubs and everything. So who cares? And then you know after that, I ended up wrestling Kenny Omega twice, and that's probably where the real animosity of that tweet came from.
There you go. Getting some real heat. That's excellent, man.
So generally we get the wrestling stuff, and we'll have to have you back on, Danny, because this has been so much fun, and you're such an interesting guy, and we could talk to you for hours and hours. So
we'll get 40 minutes.
Yeah, we'll get you back on, but I have the fun stuff, and then we'll get to the last question. Tom, if you have anything that comes to mind while I'm asking these, go ahead.
Sure.
So first, favorite movie?
Training Day with Denzel Washington.
Shout out. Great man. And Ethan Hawke. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Training Day, Scarface, and Coco. Those are my three.
Okay.
Coco.
Oh, and Coco. Nice. Shout out.
Honorable mention is Godfather 2.
All right.
You're the first guest to give 4 answers, and I appreciate that. So shout out. Favorite. I did say no more wrestling, but I didn't get to ask this before, and it's here. Favorite wrestling match of all time that you were in, and one that you weren't in.
Me versus Konosuke Takeshita. For sure, my favorite match. And then Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio, Halloween Havoc, 1997.
Oh wow!
Nice.
There you go, classic.
My second pick is The Rock and Hogan from Mania.
All right, that's a good one. Oh, nice. Proud on that one. I actually do have one, and very much in light for that one. If you had picked one person, past, present, future, to be your highlight match for your year this year, who would it be?
Ooh, an indie show somewhere in SoCal versus my daughter, my retirement match.
There you go.
But my dream match would have been me versus Eddie Guerrero at Madison Square Garden.
Okay.
Let's go. Great answer.
There you go.
All right, I'll do 2 more, and then the big question because we keep losing them a little bit. Favorite color?
I don't really have a favorite color, but I like to wear black or red. I like green. I guess green.
Okay. All right. Yeah, there we go. Lime, right? Okay, so I was gonna do. If you have time, you can answer both. If not, just pick one. I had favorite TV show and then favorite sports team.
My favorite sports team is the New York Knicks, the New York Yankees, and New York Giants.
Let's go Knicks.
Yankees.
Yeah, and then
who was the last one?
New York Giants.
Okay.
And then the other question you said
TV show.
What was it? Oh, favorite TV show. So my favorite TV show changes. It varies depending on what's on.
Yeah.
Like I used to
right
love,
now.
I used to love Spartacus, Game of Thrones,
Nice.
Power. But Money Heist on Netflix, that's my shit. La Casa de Papel is in Spanish. I watch it in Spanish. And there's another one called Elite in Spanish. I watched that one too. Really good. Well
Both on
written.
Netflix?
Both of them on Netflix. Same
Okay.
writer too. Same
Cool.
writer. So Money Heist season, the last season of Money Heist is coming soon.
Yeah.
And Elite season 4 just aired. So those two, are shows that I love. And then obviously the new Marvel ones, WandaVision, Loki.
Like all the Disney Plus ones. Yeah, nice.
Loki's been so good.
Nice. That's good to hear with your affinity. All right. So this is Takeover Tom. First of all, I want to say amazing job by you.
Thank you.
Danny Limelight, this has been a freaking pleasure. And you're a recurring guest now, so we'll have you back on very soon.
Probably sometime next month, so we can promote the
Yeah, exactly.
We'll do it.
We'll talk to you. But last question, we ask this to every guest. It's our special question. Would you rather face one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Oh no. I'll beat the shit out of a horse-sized duck for sure.
Oh,
that's a great answer,
man. It is the best when these interviews go just so funny.
Straight to the point. I love it. Let's go.
I can beat the shit out of a horse-sized duck.
You just do the thingy thing, right?
The thingy thing. All right. Well, while you're doing the thingy thing, Danny, like PJ said, it's been such a pleasure to have you. I feel like we're all friends now. We can all go out for a drink if you're ever touring up in the American Northeast. We'll certainly be happy to join you. And so I'm going to throw the floor back to you. Go ahead and plug yourself. What do you want our audience to be looking for?
Mi gente, thank you so much for having me on the show. This was awesome. We definitely got to do it again. Everybody listening, thank you for listening. Man, just if you want to follow me, I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Danny Limelight. All my t-shirts are on ProWrestlingTees.com/Danny Limelight. I do cameos as well, cameo.com/Danny Limelight. And yeah, man, definitely, stay on the lookout. We got Tag Team Turbulence for New Japan Strong coming soon. Obviously, tune into AEW Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. New Japan Strong Fridays, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood Saturdays. I'm on TV at some point in the week. 4 of the fucking days of the week, you turn TV on, you're probably gonna see my face. So let's just keep grinding.
Let's keep grinding.
Keep doing that thingy thing, boy.
Do the thingy thing. Well, we're going to be doing the thingy thing on our way out. PJ, would you like to set us up for our sign-off?
Yeah, I mean, you can find us anywhere on where you get podcasts, NXT_podcast, Twitter, NXT&We, on Instagram, all over the place. Again, Facebook, make sure you go to Facebook. We'll be sure to post all of this. We're doing pretty good numbers on Facebook. But remember, Tom, choose NXT and we because
we are NXT.
Peace.
What you guys all come here for, what you expect, and that's NXT Talk, the best NXT Talk you will find on any platform.